We are back for another amazing episode of Your Therapist Playlist. Finally got it right without having to think about it for the first time. Yes.
Good job, Matt. It's only, episode 9. So.
I mean, hey, before we get to double digits, that had to be finalized. Well, as my co-host just said, my name is Matt, and this is sipping out of the lovely Don't CC Me from
TBD Coffee.
Thank you. It's my lovely co-host, Anna.
Hi, everyone.
Hopefully you guys have had an amazing afternoon thus far. We in the Midwest, we are having some lovely weather today. I don't know about where you are at, Anna, but personally, it's lovely right now.
Oh, I thought that was sarcasm. Where here it's raining and it's like super gray, and I think there's like a storm coming.
And that is the difference between where I stay and where Anna stays. Like, I went out to brunch right before this, and we were gonna sit outside, but everybody took up all the seats because of how good it was outside. So we sat in. It was pretty good, and I just got back and noticed it getting darker. So that's why I was like, oh, I wonder what it's like where Anna is. And apparently, it is not the greatest.
No, it's not good. Not pretty out here.
How's your week been so far?
Oh, it's been pretty good. I did a girls' day with the girls. So I took them shopping. I got them some Crocs. Dude, Crocs, those things are expensive. It's like $50 for a pair. They're made out of like foam, man. And like
that's the thing that really I don't get. Why would the prices of Crocs inflate when they have a whole bunch of generic versions too that you could buy? I don't understand what's the whole hype behind them.
I don't know, but kids love them. They love them. They love those little I don't know what they're called. The little like button things you put on them.
Oh, yeah. Customizable?
Yeah. And those things are expensive too. So I had them pick some out like from like one of those little shops in the middle of the mall, you know, the little stands.
Yeah.
And I told them, I was like, these are going to be cheaper than the ones in the Croc store. And so they got a ton there, and then they got some from the Croc store. Because, of course, the Croc store is going to have, your, like, Disney ones and your nice, high-quality.
They have a Croc store?
Ones. Yeah, at the mall. Yeah, it's a Croc store. So we did that, and we went to the candy store. They picked out a bunch of gummies and things like that. And then tonight is another movie night. We're going to watch... I have no idea what the movie's called, but it's the new family movie on Netflix about a family that fights robots, and there's a pug.
So Netflix's The Invincibles.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Wait, the Invincibles, are you thinking of The Incredibles?
Incredibles, yeah, right.
Yeah.
I was actually talking to a client earlier last week, because it's a new week now, about how with Netflix, like I still have it, but I'm tired of all the new original shows they just keep advertising. I'll get to it, Netflix. Just let me watch the stuff that I want to watch first. So I'm not surprised that I haven't heard about that one yet.
Yeah, I think it's pretty new. So we'll see how it is. That's been this weekend. But this week, like the theme of this week is me and my husband have gotten into comic book collecting.
Uh-oh.
Just this week. And yeah, it's expensive. It's an expensive hobby. I only have 5 so far, but I have some pretty good ones. And I'm sending them out to get graded and all fun stuff.
Do you mind sharing which ones you got?
Well, no details of what I have.
Okay.
I have good things. But they are Star Wars. They are part of the Thrawn series, which is really hard to find right now because he's a character that's going to be in, I think he's going to be in the new Ahsoka series and possibly the next Mandalorian. I'm not sure, but he's like an up and coming character. There's a lot of books about him. He's my favorite character. And so he has a comic book series, and also been doing a lot of card sales on eBay.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You told me about this. Yes.
Yeah. I usually sell soccer cards, so my little shop on eBay is called Anna Soccer. Just Anna Soccer. Makes sense, right? That's my eBay shop. And right now there is only one soccer card on there. It's a Cristiano Ronaldo black gold 2016. It's a little like a medallion of a star, a silver star.
Yeah.
That's the only soccer card I have on there right now. Other than that, I have some Star Wars cards and then a shit ton of Magic cards. I don't play Magic. I don't know anything about Magic. I have spent a
How do
lot
you
of
have
time
them?
Googling.
How
What?
do you have them?
Oh, they're my husband's.
Oh, he's in the Magic. Okay.
He was. He used to. And they've just been hanging around forever. And so okay, Matt, I really think that this is a task he gave me to keep me
Yeah.
busy.
To manage
He's
an
just
eBay store of cards and stuff to sell.
yeah, so he has tons in these bins, and he's like, what would be fun for you is if you could go through the cards because he knows I love selling cards, and I was like, okay. But then the other day I was thinking like, is this just to keep me busy while he's working on stuff?
Yeah.
I think it is, but it has been a ton of work. I have probably over 50 cards listed, and people are really into old Magic cards.
Yeah. Yeah. The thing that I heard about Magic the Gathering is that they do like a cyclical play style. So a certain set of cards will last in like their tournament settings for so long before they're then like archived to increase player interest in like new cards and archetypes and stuff that comes out, as opposed to Yu-Gi-Oh, who doesn't do that. So yeah, they should probably get on that.
Do you like Yu-Gi-Oh? I've never played any hard games. Because I feel like it involves math or like some sort of math quality.
With Yu-Gi-Oh, it's the bare minimum. You can add and subtract, so that's it.
I don't know. It was hard for me. Even trying to read the Magic cards because I try to read them to try to figure out. Because there was this card that I'm selling and it's destroy all lands.
Yeah.
And to me, that means nothing. And then my brother was like looking and he's like, holy shit, this is destroy all land. That's such a good card. You didn't know that's a good card? And I was just like, what? I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
That's like Dark Hole in Yu-Gi-Oh probably, or self-destruct in Pokemon terms.
Oh, okay. So self-destruct like Electrode?
Yeah, that's what I'm going to equate it to. Sorry if this insults Magic the Gathering fans. I'm probably wrong, but this is how me and a Pokemon mindset understands it to translate it to Anna because she doesn't play Yu-Gi-Oh, so I can't translate it in that way.
Maybe the Pokemon equivalent would be destroy all Pokemon.
Just Pokemon that every legendary has almost tried to destroy all Pokemon, so I'm just gonna go self-destruct. That's just me personally. Speaking of me personally, I've been doing okay. I am resigning from my current workplace and about to start full-time private practice next month. Shout out to me. And I'm shouting myself out because I just had a realization that I should probably increase my caseload a bit more because it's going to be summertime and people may not show up. And one of my colleagues reminded me of that. And I was like, oh, shit. And prepare for the fact that people may just stop coming during the summer only to come back in the fall.
That's a real thing.
Yep.
Okay. I want to second that because I never really noticed. I always notice around the holidays, people drop off and, it is what it is. People are on vacation. But for the summer, I didn't really think about it because I usually get all the college kids. So in the summer, I always think that I'm busy because I have all these college kids. But now my usual clients are kind of like, can we meet like maybe every other week, maybe once a month, maybe just whenever, which is totally fine with me because it's like a sign of good progress that they don't need to meet every week.
Yeah.
So I think it's good, but at the same time, it is slow and everyone is canceling all the time. Cancel, because summer.
Yeah. Luckily, my practice has a few, what's the word I'm looking for here? Contingency plans in place to assist with that. But still, I'd rather be safe than sorry. So guess I'm going up to 30. Woo. Other than that, I feel like my mental health has definitely become a lot more, let's go with better. I feel like I've been dealing with a lot of anxiety over the last almost a year. And of course, loved ones close to me, friends know a few details as far as why that has been. Last weekend, I just had like a realization like, hey, anxiety, it comes from not really feeling sometimes confident in where things are going, the future, wanting to have control over certain things. And I was like, I don't want control over shit. The only thing I want to do is feel good about myself. And I'm not going to worry about the future because I'm doing pretty damn good right now. And I was like, you know what? let me act like that. And ever since then, I've been feeling really good. So yay, feels good. Feels good to be back, and a lot more mature and insightful. Even though I always think about everything.
You do always think of everything.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You do.
And I've been watching the old Simpsons episodes on not Netflix, Disney Plus. Man, seasons 4, 5, and 6, classic. So for the listeners, we have another artist for our artist spotlight. Remember the name? Yay, me again. See, that's how you know my mental health is improving. I'm remembering things more. But he is a friend from my adolescent time, high school years, hailing from the south side of Chicago. He and I went to high school together. He actually transferred in, if I'm not mistaken. We got to know each other, I think, around either late junior year, maybe early mid senior year. Similar interests when it comes to music, specifically hip hop, R&B. We at one time, I think, had some of the similar like favorite rappers, and probably one of the first people in high school I felt like I could talk to, or one of the first people I felt like I could talk to about rap, about hip hop in a way that isn't just, oh yeah, this rapper is the best because he's popular and known. I don't give a shit about that. I want quality. I want talent. I want content. That's the type of shit I want. And that's what this guy has to offer with his music career. And the guy went the route that everybody in my high school said they would go, gonna become rappers. That didn't work out for a majority of us, but he actually decided to pursue that as a passion. And I'm gonna be honest, probably one of the best that I had graduated with. No shots, no shade. Ladies and gentlemen, listeners of the show, please welcome Jamman Chalmers.
The crash, the end all be all. At the edge of my seat like seesaws, hoping to bounce back. We all fall down, I can't get up though. Seen the closest round me turn cutthroat. For a cut mo, make me wonder what's all the fuss for. Money never the motivation. Probably why they think I'm complacent. Only thing that they chasing. Why I'm trying to find inner peace. Or why I'm only happy when I see my mother face and my niece. Or why I stop saying grace when I eat. Did I lose faith or was it never there in the first place? Was I faking it all, hoping that something would click? Feelings as hollow as tips, put to a clip, put it to my head, left you a note, it read the crash.
Jamman, how are you?
I'm great. I'm kind of blushing after that dope ass intro.
I mean, you know, I do what I can to support my homies. Do what I can to support my.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
How are you, good sir?
I'm great, man. I'm great. Enjoying this beautiful Sunday. Caught some early playoff NBA today, so you know my morning starting off great.
So what you don't know you just did is you rubbed it in Anna's face that the weather isn't as great where she is.
Oh, my bad. Oh, my bad. If it makes you feel any better, it's nothing but overcast right now. All overcast.
Yeah, it already started raining here, so I don't know how you guys are having such nice weather. We're not that far apart.
Yeah, you especially, yeah.
Yeah, you're in the city, right? So we're like 40 minutes apart.
Yeah. And it's like it's warm. It's just like no sun right now.
Yeah.
So it's kind of decent. I'm not gonna lie. It's not really. I just feel like I'm digging a deeper hole of making it feel bad about the weather. My bad.
Well, we are happy to have you on. This is going to be a unique experience for me because I have to remain as objective as possible in doing this interview with you. And I think I can do that, but I want to make sure that I am throwing it out there now, just in case I forget that is going to be my mantra for today's episode.
That's real. I mean, I respect objectivity. Even when I demo music for like I haven't released to friends, I'm like, yo, I need you to be 100% honest with me. Don't have me out here putting out like some trash. And he was like, no, it just sounded great to me before you did it. Okay.
And that was literally, I was coming in from meeting up with another friend from high school that you know, and I was listening to your music on the way back, and I was like, all right, I got to listen to this objectively. And I wasn't able to do it. I was able at first to kind of just go like, damn, I'm back in, it's like 3-4 years ago when you put this out. And then when I was able to get close at home, I'm like, all right, I think I got some shit. I got this. It's going to be fire.
Hey, I've listened to it objectively.
Well, yeah, it's easy for you. You don't know him.
Well, I met him before for like 5 minutes. And I thought it was really nice.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
But I listened to your music before I talked to you and before I met you,
right.
And I already liked it.
See,
So
that is true. I do feel like it's hard being completely objective to people who music you really rock with and you have a close personal relationship with. But like for the sake of you wanting them to be the best artist they can be, you have to be objective. I had to like learn that because like I faked the funk at certain really early in the career with people I was cool with, as far as in their music. And I was like, I thought about it and I'm like, but I want them to be 100% honest with me. I have to give them that same courtesy because, you know, if you rock with somebody, probably a good chance you respect their music opinion. You don't want them to like lie to you and tell you like some shit you're doing. It's great. Like maybe it's not, might not be that forte, but they still can let you know like, you can step your game up a little bit.
So would you say that as far as how you operate as an artist, you believe in transparency with your fan base, with the people you kind of work with in the music industry and so forth?
I believe in transparency amongst people and all relationships that you have with people. I believe in transparency with like your friendships and like romantic relationships and stuff like that. And I believe in transparency with artists and their art as well. You have to be honest in your music. You want people to be honest about your music and whatnot. I don't believe in the transparency in the sense of just because you're a public figure, everybody has to know every single bit and detail of your life. But like if you're friends with someone, they should be able to tell you that your shit sucks. And maybe they don't have to be public about it, but they should be able to tell you like, hey, you know, your stuff's not that good. And also you got to have context for everything because they may not listen to the type of music you make, which is 100% understandable. So they might not think it's good because of that. So context does matter, but you can't just let your friends go out in the world ass backwards, you know?
Yeah. This reminds me of a similar question I had asked in previous interviews about this one Erykah Badu quote. I'm an artist and I'm sensitive about my shit. When it comes to how people respond to your music, to what extent of that quote is true?
I have a little a story, and this is kind of about this. I had a song that I wrote, and it was a very popish type song, popish R&B type song. It's not really something that was my forte, but I'm like, I like writing all different types of music. So I'm going to write this song. I made it, recorded, did a demo for it and whatnot. And I played it for my girl. And she was like, I hate this song for you. And I'm like, no, I'm like, hate it for me or do you hate it? Because I'm like, she's like, the song's cheesy. I'm like, yeah, I wrote it to be cheesy. Like I wanted to be the pop R&B cheesiness feel to it. She's like, okay. She's like, but I hate the song for you though. And I'm like, I got what she was saying because I released it and I played it for people and people loved it. But I'm like, that's not in line with what I do artistically consistently. And I didn't really take offense to it. I like people to challenge me on things, but that's because I like discourse. I like conversations about things. So I like people to challenge me about shit, even when it's with my art. I think the only thing I might be sensitive about as an artist is someone telling me I'm not good at my craft. You could tell me you don't like this song. You could tell me you don't like this particular thing I did or way I do this or whatnot. But there's I don't want to say arrogance, but it's a borderline arrogance. Like you can't tell me I'm bad at my shit. That's where the sensitivity comes in.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just super overly arrogant, but I definitely be on some like, I know how dope I am. Like you tell me this sucks if it sucks. But as an overall entity of somebody who creates music, I know I make good music. So I don't really get too beat up about someone being like, yeah, I don't really rock with this. I really dig into it. Like, okay, can you tell me why? Well, maybe this doesn't fit you, or maybe I like this when you do this way and stuff like that. Because I want to improve. And I make music for like myself and other people. I want people to like my shit. So I can't be too sensitive.
You touched on one of our pre-interview talking points that I was definitely looking to jump into, and it seems like now is the time. Egoism, specifically within the hip hop rap area, because what you are saying mirrors to some extent what a lot of hip hop artists really espouse when it comes to confidence and the braggadocio part of being a rapper. Like, I'm good at what I do. You can't tell me shit. And if you think you can tell me shit, I'm going to prove you wrong. Would you say that there is a level of egoism in the industry now as opposed to when we first, I guess, started getting into music? So like around 14, 15 during those adolescent years.
Oh no, hip hop has had ego in it since its conception. It's an art form that's really based in like a socio-economic condition type shit. And if you don't always if you don't have the most money growing up or have the nicest stuff or the newest you have to find something that you have to pride yourself in. And a lot of those people took time to find stuff they pride themselves. People pride themselves in their work ethic. People pride themselves in their intelligence and their ability to have conversation with people. And then also got good at rap. It's like, I'm going to pride myself in being a better rapper than most people. And a lot of times people would attain certain things and do, hustle to get certain things so they can flex. I'm going to show that I work my ass off to get all this nice stuff. It's a certain arrogance that you need to have with rap. It's a very, I think like all music forms, all music genres of music have some type based in some type of personality that you can think of that describes them. Like being a rock star to an extent has to be, you have to have some type of arrogance in that too. Like not to make rock music, but to be a rock star, to be a star, like to be Michael Jackson, to be Prince, you have to be like, have a whole other world of like confidence. But yeah, hip hop has a huge ego driven thing. I don't think it got any better or worse since we've really gotten to it. Ego can be a bad thing and a good thing. So there are some bad parts about it that really do the hip hop community a disservice. That cause a lot of friction between people. But when it comes to like actually just rapping or comes to like the actual form of people being cocky, LL was a cocky person. CL, Pete Rock, CL Smooth, like they have some cockiness in that stuff. Big Daddy Kane had cockiness. They have like, you don't have the braggadociousness you need that. Wu-Tang had the braggadociousness. And a lot of times it was just people, I guess, kind of, sometimes your ego can infringe on other people's ego as well. And that's where it becomes a problem. But just regular old confidence is not an issue.
What would you say is the difference between confident rap artists versus cocky rap artists?
It's the same thing with everyday people. You can tell when somebody's kind of faking the funk. When someone is truly just overly confident in themselves, where like, they didn't put whatever they're talking big game about, they didn't put enough time into it, where they doing what they doing. But the cockiness a lot of time comes from people who they have to overcompensate. They have to overcompensate for something they feel like they're lacking in comparison to other artists. It's the same thing in everyday life. When people are overly cocky, I know he compensating for something he ain't got like the rest of everybody else has got. It's artists who I can think of who might give that description. Like you'll see them have certain conversations about rap. And they'll kind of be like, man, I don't really take rap serious. Man, this not really, I just do this because it's just for who I have to bam. Like even the people who got into rap to make money for themselves, there's a lot of them who became great rappers because they took rap seriously and didn't disrespect the art form. They were just like, I'm gonna get good at this because I know this is gonna make me some bread. There are certain artists who are out here, you'll hear them be like, man, rap, I don't care about rap like that. Rap was never any go out the bam. They just, do you see that? That's the cockiness because they're trying to overcompensate because they know they're not good.
Sounds like the core to the cockiness, like a cocky rapper then is like the lack of confidence, or that like they don't have the skill, where when you were talking about pride and then the like braggadocious behavior, like that's coming from pride. That's from like, I know I'm good. And those are the rappers that are talking about, giving shout outs to like their hood, to like their street, so like it's a huge level of pride.
Yeah.
Based on, I think that's what you mean, right? Sort of like the difference.
Yeah. It, like whether it be something, how you're brought up, where you're brought up, the time and money you put into you making money, the time and effort you put into being a better rapper, it's the pride. That's pride in that. But yes, there are people who literally be like, I don't really care about X doing this. This is a hobby for me, because they don't want to be held at the same standard as people who they know are great at this. And they're like, if I diminish my care for this, I can prove myself to be cocky. I can prove myself to be confident in this situation, but also I know I won't have to be compared to Lupe or get compared to like Jay-Z, or I have to get compared to like even Lil Baby. Like even when Lil Baby raps about stuff, Lil Baby will still let you know he thinks he's a great rapper. He don't be like, man, I don't care about rap. He can let you know I'm still feel like I'm great at this rapping stuff. So
that's a really good point, because again, going back to what the whole podcast is about, me and Honor Therapist, obviously. And sometimes when it comes to the work that we do, when we hear such comments that demonstrate delusions of grandeur, meaning I'm up here and nobody can ever meet me up here because I'm just so great, I'm just so dope, I'm all this and all that, it screams, yeah, you suffer from low self-esteem.
Yeah.
And it's so interesting just because it's easy to discern, like you were mentioning, the difference between somebody who's a cocky artist or a cocky person versus a confident person or a confident artist. They let the quality of what they do speak volumes, as opposed to always having to boast and brag over what they can or what they can't do, or also why they're doing this. Like, there's a difference when I hear somebody like Eminem, Marshall Mathers, for example, who talks about specifically trying to become a better rapper. Still, even though he doesn't have to, he's made all this money, he's had all these accolades, he doesn't have to do anything. He could have just he could have continued to be the whole screamo rapper, but chose to actually go against the fans, although he did say, you know what, you guys don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and actually evolved from where his position was originally, because he continues to want to do more and be more. And he's also somebody who can exude that insecurity too, because if you aren't offering him the constructive criticism for him to evolve, he's going to attack and react. How much do you think, because now we're going into the mental health stuff, how much do you think self-esteem matters when it comes to how acts of egoism start to, I guess, become an artist like go-to? I'm going to attend to my ego first versus attending to what is reality, me trying to become a better artist.
I think in rap's a little different because you have to have ego into it. So you have to have these delusions of grandeur. You can make those delusions a reality. You're dealing with a lot, like I said, a lot of people who start off in rap, they start off in very bad economic situations around, and bad socioeconomic situations. So you have to dream that, like, statistically speaking, the chances of you getting out of those situations is slim to nil. And then you have to believe it's a possibility for you to get out of there. You have to believe that the impossible is possible. And then because of that, you're like, okay, you're going to have delusions of grandeur. You might be staying in a one bedroom with 5 siblings, and you might have to tell yourself, I'm going to make it so I can buy everybody in my family a house, because that's the only way you're going to believe you're going to be able to do that. So you have to have that undying sense of like, I know I got this. I know I'm that dude. I'm gonna make all of this happen. So I understand. So you have to believe in that delusions, because if you can't do much to tend to your reality, if you ain't got much control of your reality around you. Like, you probably can control yourself. You can't really control a lot of the other shit that's around you. You can't really tend too much. What you can't tend to is your dreams, and try to make those a reality and figure a situation out from that. And you definitely need some over the wall cockiness. That's why, like, even when people who are overcompensating because they may not be able to rap that well, so they try to downplay the genre itself. Even those people have had to have another type of confidence to get to where they were, because they are well-known rappers who suck at rapping. Like, you are a public figure who's known for doing a job that you are actually bad at, but you're still a popular person at that job. You know what type of confidence you got to have to fake that shit? I get that ego being like, yeah, I'm finna downplay this so it won't seem like that important, but they'll probably be confident about their ability to make money or hustle or brand themselves or how cool they are. That's where their confidence is gonna shine. And I respect them for it, because they're making a way, and they making a way for their family, and making a way for themselves. I'm never gonna disparage about them, but like, I feel like all rappers have to have that. You can't be too humble as a rapper. You can be open, you can be vulnerable, but you can't be humble. Being a humble rapper, I've never heard of a humble rapper that's was successful ever, or good even.
You bring up a really good point. Like, even thinking about the career trajectory of most like rap artists, you have them going sometimes in like multiple directions, but namely these two. You have the artist who isn't able to, once they obtain that success, let go of those delusions of grandeur because they're always striving for something. They're always trying to obtain something. And sometimes come to find out that you burn a lot of bridges because you're trying to always have more as opposed to accepting what you already have. And then you have, I can't say the Gen Z rappers, but the rappers that came out when we were in high school. So the Trinity, J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, you got your Childish Gambinos, you got a lot of different guys who came up with those same like features of like being confident and braggadocious, but then you get to see them actually grow up too. And for the most part, out of those four people, three are demonstrating, hey, I'm a whole adult now with responsibilities, with maturity, and I have insight into my actions and why things happen. One still kind of a little bit stagnated in nature. We ain't gonna
Wait, which one you think is
we're not
still
slandering people on the show. We're not slandering.
Okay, I'm gonna ask you afterwards. Because that's I want to know.
But when it comes to the ones who kind of get stuck or they're on that borderline of either pushing into maturation as men or women or falling flat on their faces and kind of like becoming pop culture's like butt of the joke century rapper, what things do you think contribute to how they find themselves stuck in that personal development? What makes them stuck in trying to mature as people?
Part of it is we as a genre through a bunch of different reasons. Rap hasn't been a genre that ages well, in a sense of like the rap stars. We didn't get to see them age. A lot of our rap stars, a lot of our biggest stars in hip hop, we haven't been able to see age. So we haven't being able to see a lot of grown man rappers become grown man rappers and grown women rappers as well. But it's the issue winds up being then each generation keeps getting young, like it gets younger and younger with the hip hop generation. So now new rappers keep coming out. At a certain point, the older generation kept feeling like, man, I have to do what the young kids are doing to stay relevant. So you didn't get to see, they wasn't open with their maturity and then the things that they learned and whatnot and the knowledge that they were imparting on people. I'll say Jeezy because I know because this is the public thing that everybody knows about. Jeezy came being a snowman, trap it out and whatnot, go out the band. Yes. And then the picture came out with him at his son's graduation. Everybody was on Jeezy like, man, Jeezy told us to trap or die and walk the band and do all this other stuff. And he, cool. Yes, that might be true. But also as well, Jeezy, if you listen to Jeezy music, Jeezy also was telling you, like, there's other ways you could, as his music matured, as he got older, you'll find nuggets in his stuff where he will be like, there's other ways you could do X, Y, and Z. But also, maybe he didn't do a good enough job at publicly broadcasting how he matured as a person and the different decisions that he learned as he matured, as much as he broadcast the Trap or Die, Can't Ban the Snowman. So like now I'm happy because we are seeing a lot of our hip hop elder statesmen mature. We get to see a lot of our generation that came in when we was growing up, the people we listened to, they mature. The people before you see Nas and Hov and Snoop, and you see all these older people in rap who can beat older people in rap, Then you got people like Griselda and a lot of them dudes like maybe late 30s. They got the drug rap braggadocious, but it's in a grown man form. And you kind of can see like, man, we can see the maturity, how people mature in the rap. We can see Nicki having a family and then maturing in rap. We can see these people maturing. And then now we can be like, oh, okay, we don't have to just think of rap as a young people's thing or just have to think of it as we only can listen to the new age kids of rap. And it's like, no, this thing is multifaceted. It's subgenre upon subgenres under it. Now we can see the elder statesmen in rap. We wasn't getting that at first because a lot of them either were dying or getting locked up, or we kind of been like, you corny, so we don't want to listen to you no more.
You brought up something that reminded me of a quote that Anna gave in another interview.
I'm curious of what quote you're talking about.
So you were the first one, I think, on maybe episode 1 or 2 who made the quote of how mental health has been talked about in rap since its damn near its inception. So I wanted to ask Jamman, what songs do you feel as if when you were coming up made you realize like, all right, damn, mental health is important to kind of talk about within this genre of music?
Of course.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm talking about Infinite M. Like, he's this song, Everything's Okay. Like that old, like even the stuff he had on Slim Shady and Marshall Mathers. But like Lupe's Hurt Me So. It wasn't very specific to mental health, but it talked about the conditions that will put you in a mind state of being depressed.
Yeah.
Intruder Alert, like Soon You'll Understand, and Song Cry. Like, it's weird because when we think of rap, we do think of cockiness, we do think of braggadociousness. So we don't think rappers have the ability to be vulnerable and be able to express themselves in a way. And raps always has done that. Like y'all said, like its inception. The problem was you still seeing somebody who good looking, probably tall, will probably be able to charismatic and stuff, and they're being vulnerable. You won't see this vulnerability. It just always comes off as somebody being cocky. But a lot of these rappers have been extremely vulnerable in their stuff. Damn, like even like Linkin Park, like Ye was a big one. Ye was a huge one, not the album, but the artist himself. Yeah. Like, it's weird because we always been comfortable with talking about mental health. We just never phrased it that way.
Yeah, that was what I thought about when I first brought it up, because I actually remember talking to my husband about it before I mentioned it in a podcast. I was telling him, hip hop music, I feel like they talk about, like hip hop and rap, I feel like they talk about mental health topics more than any other genre. And he's like, what do you mean by that? And I'm like, well, they're not talking about like, oh, these are the symptoms of anxiety and depression, I'm going to rap about them. No, they're not using specific clinical terms, but when they're talking about, exactly like you said, Jamman, like you said, talking about the things that lead to depression, things that lead to anxiety, talking about what life is really like, what it's really like. Tupac and Biggie, they did that very well. Tupac especially, think about the song Changes, right? I mean, it's a really popular song, but if you look at it from a mental health perspective, he's talking about so much that affects mental health, that it is so emotional, and also, what's the word I'm thinking of? So like a social justice aspect to it. Mm-hmm. And that is a huge component, I think, in a lot of hip hop songs and a lot of rap songs, whether that's the intention or not from the artist. Talking about the conditions that you're living in does help towards a push for change, because it lets people in to see the world that you're living in and to think about it on different terms as something that's real, not just something they see on TV and can't connect with. I think when you actually hear somebody rapping about or singing about their experiences, it's more real. It wakes you up. And that's what we need for social justice, like that push, right?
Yeah, it's not just numbers on a page or like theoretical or anything like that. Someone's telling you this is their real life experience that drove them to X, Y, and Z. It makes it a lot more concrete. It's tangible. Now you can be like, oh, so you went through that. Oh, that leads to that. Like, Biggie has 2 songs I think about all the time. Suicidal Thoughts, which, like, the first line of the song, when I die, I want to go to hell because I'm a piece of shit and ain't that hard for me to tell. What? Like,
that's his favorite Biggie song.
Like, bro, that's some nuts. And then Everyday Struggle. First line and hook. I don't want to live no more. Man, I hear death knocking at the front door. Like, the name of his first album is Ready to Die, and it's a picture of a baby on the front of it. Like, I do think hip hop really, it has been big on the mental health, but we just never identified it as mental health. We just been like, we're talking about our pain. And when they're vulnerable, that's what I mean by vulnerability in a hip hop artist. See, everyone talks about their pain, the things that they've been through and whatnot, but we just never look at it as mental health. Even it be people who, like, I'll talk to people I know who are like really big backpack rappers and like boom bap rappers, and they like far as fans of their music. And we'll talk about someone like Lil Durk, and they be like, Lil Durk just lacks the ability to be vulnerable in his music. I'm like, you must not listen to Lil Durk music, because Lil Durk be vulnerable in his music, not in every one of his songs. But if you listen to some songs, you'll hear that man talking about a lot of people he close to dying. and talking about the need for revenge and the need for like doing drugs to cope with the pain of actually losing friends and whatnot. You're like, oh, but we just never look at it as vulnerability or mental health because I don't know, maybe like how the world views Black men or something like that, but you just won't view it as this man might be crying out for help or like really talk about some real shit because like, he rich and like everybody likes him and he's cool.
Very true. You actually touched on another component of the braggadocio aspect of rap, the ego as it comes to rap, the substance use. Because sometimes when it comes to being on top of the world, whether you aren't on top of the world and you're trying to make it that way, or you legit found a way to get it on top, now it's about trying to maintain that status. And it's not easy. I've noticed that I think it's in like all avenues of life when it comes to when you find yourself in a really high position in life, whether it be with your socioeconomical status, whether your status as a celebrity or just somebody who is really important. It's hard to maintain that. You have to figure out ways to do that. And if you're not able to, then you are trying to find yourself something that fuels you with the temporary confidence you need in order to actually make it to the top. Sometimes it's weed, sometimes it's Molly, sometimes it's Coke, sometimes it's a little bit of this, and sometimes it's a little bit of that. So, from your perspective, what do you think the influence of drugs, illicit drugs, has had on the artistry of hip hop artists or just generally in the music industry?
Once an older cat told me, he's like, y'all went from being drug sellers to drug users.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and this dude had to be about like 70. But I think a lot of artists do drugs. A lot of artists are usually torture people. We never really put two and two together about artists doing a lot of drugs and then artists being torture people and then be like, why rappers do a lot of drugs? Rappers usually come from fucked up situations. And then people who come from fucked up situations usually do a lot of drugs to cope with it. Now, it's not to say everyone. A lot of people do drugs just because they enjoy doing drugs. I've learned that sometimes it's not like a super deep explanation for why people are doing drugs. Sometimes people just be doing drugs just because it's in or popular, easily influenced or whatnot. But a lot of the rappers might be doing drugs just based off the fact like it's survivor's remorse sometimes. A lot of times people be like, yo, life might have been fucked up, but you might have had guys growing up and it might have been y'all and then some shit happened, your guys died and you might have made it in life and made something of yourself and you're just like, damn. You look up and there's a bunch of new faces around and you're probably just like, I'm the only one that made it or we the only ones that made it. And it's hard to cope with that. It's hard to look up and be like, man, we didn't came from very extraneous circumstances and now we're okay, but not that much because there's still eyes on us. You might not feel safe at all times. It's a lot of anxiety. It's a lot of depression, but you don't got the luxury to show. Like, people can be vulnerable in music, but you don't have the luxury to actually show that out in public. What? You'll be a lick. If you walk around here, they see you sad boy all the time. They think you're vulnerable. They think you're like easy target. Nah, you putting a target on your back if they think it's that sweet. So you don't have the luxury to have that vulnerability. So, you go numb the pain until something works or you die.
It's an interesting conversation to have about hip hop artists, but it's a skewed conversation because drug use has been something that is a part of music since before hip hop. You had it in the 50s, you had it in the 60s, 70s, 80s.
Like I did when I was younger, I had my share of fun. Mm-hmm. I had my share of fun, got myself in some trouble, and I wasn't supposed to get myself in some trouble. But me being self-aware enough in certain situations where when I got older, I could write about it. I made Mule, and it's a song that's just dealing with drug abuse. And I made a couple songs about dealing with drug abuse because I done went through my phases in life. And a lot of that gets kind of downplayed because, you're not a crackhead, you're not a meth head, you're not doing all the other stuff, X, Y, and Z. If you're just doing this here and this there, little party drugs here and there, you're not going to feel like you're a drug abuser. And you might not be. But you also got to ask yourself, why are you doing these things? And how much of these things are you doing? And is it just you trying to partake or is this just trying to mask something? And me, there's a certain catharticness, if that's the right word, about writing and making your music so you could put some shit in perspective. I didn't realize, damn, I was wilding a lot until I wrote that song. Yeah. And I'm like, I was wilding a lot. And especially just looking at the age I was and the time frame and the opportunities that were in front of me at the time. I was wilding a lot. And I'm like, why was I doing all that? And it was like, I repressed some shit and I finally got free for some shit in my life. And I was able to start like, I could do whatever the fuck I want to. And I fought for the tee up and whatnot. And it was lashing out. It was lashing out. I didn't realize I was lashing out until I actually wrote that and sat there. And I'm like, this actually does apply to me. Until someone else told me, they heard it and told me, hey, this applied to me. My life was fucked up. It kind of made me think about some shit. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. So it's not just me.
If it's something that you are vulnerable about and you're open about, that is exactly what makes your music, at least for me, something that I like to really listen to and take a step back and just enjoy, because it's somebody who is being very transparent in a way that's different than how I get a chance to interact with you personally. It's not like, for example, with like men, it's not like we're going to like open up to some guy friends, not all guy friends, to some guy friends about how much romantic feeling we have towards another young woman, another young lady. Sometimes it's gonna be like, oh man, she cool. We get along great. Man, yeah, she fine, bro. Real cool. As opposed to really being open and saying, I really enjoy her company. There's just something about her that really attracts me to her because of how honest she is or how forthcoming she is. It's a cool way to learn more about you, even though it's in an indirect way, even though I know you directly. I get to learn more about you as a person in the music. And sometimes you don't really get that from artists. Sometimes it's all about just the confidence without the vulnerability, or the vulnerability is limited vulnerability in the sense like, yeah, this stuff affects me. I get scared by this. I got to be tough by this, but not, damn, man, I don't know if I'm going to always make it through this. I need support. I need other people to know that I love them and they love me. And that's another thing that I like about the content that you release. You seem to be very conscientious of how much your community matters to you. Why is that?
In my younger years, I had this theory that all people are somewhat self-destructive and other people are put on this planet to stop you from hurting yourself. In my younger years, in my naive years, I used to think like we were put around each other to stop us from doing things for ourselves, because people don't always make the best decisions for themselves or treat themselves with the most love. And maybe you need to experience love from the outside so you can know how to love from the inside out. Sometimes it's hit or miss as far as whether or not that applies. But like, I want aliens to be able to hear my music and be like, I understand somewhat what the human experience is like. I want people to know that love's a big part of the human experience. Love for another, love for your family and whatnot. I've written about my relationships with my family, my brothers, my mom, my dad. It's not always in a complaining about them way or this way or whatnot. A lot of times it's, yeah, if it wasn't for them, I probably wouldn't be here right now, or I probably wouldn't want the things out of life that I want, or I probably wouldn't be content and at peace with myself the way that I am. And I'm speaking about loss. I want people to feel good. But also people want to know it's okay to not feel good, and it's okay that other people feel this way. And if you got a strong support system around you, they might be able to lift you up, and maybe you might be able to give that to somebody in turn. And sometimes if you can't do it, it's okay, because you just got to work and improve on some things on yourself. Maybe, like I said, I want aliens from light years and light years away to be like, oh, I have a little bit idea what the human experience might be like, or the human experience for at least my idea of what the human experience is like. They'll be like, I know this person, Jamman from Southside Chicago. I know his experience was love and happiness. I know it also was pain and hurt. I know it was sacrifice. I know it might have been selflessness. Maybe it might be some selfishness tied into it. I don't want it to be a one-dimensional thing. I don't like one-dimensional music. I don't like one-dimensional people. We're more complex and multifaceted than that. And that's why I like express that to other people, and everyone else could be like, oh, it's okay for me to be head over heels in love. It's okay for me to be hurt for some shit that happened years and years ago. Maybe I just need to learn how to work past it. You know, I just want people to know it's okay. Every part of the human experience is okay.
Is that why you're wearing a One Love shirt?
My mom got me this, and it's damn near like my favorite shirt outside of like my anime shirts.
All I'm saying is if aliens watch this, they're also going to see it and be like, oh, that's that love. That's what it's spelled. That's what it looks like.
That's dope. And you know what's crazy? I didn't even put 2 and 2 together until you just said that.
That is what his shirt says. But I'm cracking up too because he just said he wears anime shirts, and I'm wearing an anime shirt.
I'm wearing a Wu-Tang shirt right now.
Oh man, I was gonna wear a Wu-Tang. I was gonna put my Wu-Tang shirt on, and I was like, no, I don't know. I'm gonna go with Dragon Ball today.
Kind of want to see the shirt. I'll ask to look at it later because I know when you brought up Yu-Gi-Oh earlier, I had to stop myself because I was about to go all the way in with the whole conversation, but I'm not gonna do that.
I just got my younger brother, who's a grown man. He's like 23. I just got him like 2 new decks for Yu-Gi-Oh cards.
Are Yu-Gi-Oh cards worth any money?
Yes.
Really? Should I get into the Yu-Gi-Oh card selling game?
At this point, Anna, you might be out of luck. You have to actually buy like the old booster packs to see if you could pull anything of good quality. You might, but yeah, I wouldn't go out and buy like one of the first edition Blue Eyes White Dragon cards from 2002 or 3 because them bit expensive.
Probably expensive. Yeah, Pokemon cards are super expensive right now. I think Target is not selling them because it's too dangerous. Because everybody wants a Charizard. People are obsessed with Charizard.
So I'm gonna tell a story real quick before we get back into this interview with both Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I'm not trying to throw nobody under the bus. So when I was a kid, me and 2 other guys, one of which, Jamman, you know, but again, ain't sharing no names. I decided to let him hold on to my Pokemon card collection because at that point, I'll see him later in life. Haven't seen him since. No shade, no tea. But if he makes some money off them cards, good for him, man. Then I got another friend who still close with. I did the same thing with him, except I'm still friends with him. So eventually we'll be able to. I let him hold on to my card collection because again, I wasn't playing Yu-Gi-Oh. I went away to college. Then he moved and he left it back in the storage at his other place.
Make sure they're in sleeves. Make sure they're in sleeves.
Yeah.
They're not, but I don't care.
As someone who had all the first edition Yu-Gi-Oh cards and no longer has them after some stuff, make sure they're in sleeves. Just make sure they're in sleeves. That's all I can tell you.
Oh man, sleeves, top loaders.
Yes.
I know all about. I'm a huge card fan.
I'm talking about first edition Toon World, first edition Toon Blue Eyes White Dragon, first edition Toon Red Eyes Black Dragon, Obelisk the Torment, not Obelisk the Torment, but it's a bunch of like first edition old school Yu-Gi-Oh cards were basically compost.
Passion just came out.
Oh yeah, I'm a geek. Yeah, ask me anything nerdy, nerd out.
This is our podcast, so just for this 1 second, how do you define the difference between a nerd and a geek?
A nerd, I think, usually applies more like scholastic stuff, and being a geek is more like being overly excited about things, like geeking out. That's how I always imagine when I hear geek. You could be a nerd, I guess, and a geek, but I feel like they might be 2 different things. Mm-hmm. But also, you ask me tomorrow, my opinion on the whole entire thing might change.
Yeah.
So.
All right, back to music. I'm overstimulated right now because we started talking about nerd or geek.
I know. Well, I don't know. Well, Jamman, do you know anything about magic cards?
Look, so I had a choice in college to either get really good at ping pong or good at Magic the Gathering, and I chose ping pong because there is a table full of people playing the game right next to the ping pong table. And both sets of people had asked me, hey, do you want to learn how to do X, Y, and Z?
Yeah.
And I was like, I already have enough trading card game things in my life as a Yu-Gi-Oh duelist who's won tournaments. So I'm like, I'm cool on learning another card game. Let me learn ping pong.
Yeah. These are the things that brought us closer together. I remember when you were with one of your ex-girlfriends and she would be jealous about how close we were getting because we have really similar interests in common.
You get pissed every time we start geeking out. Like, It's like, you hate talking about this. Like, I know I get on your nerves bringing this up to you. Let me talk to him about it.
So one of your first singles, Bart Simpson, how much of that song had a correlation to this geeky side of yourself that you are speaking of right now?
All of it, because I was doing pop culture references. I wanted to be like display my lyrical ability and just like rap circles around people, but also wanted to make some of the punchlines not culturally relevant, because they some of the lines I made were kind of outdated. But I wanted to, when you tell a joke, you kind of like poke somebody in the ribs with your elbow a little bit. I wanted to do that lyrically. I wanted to just make it so that people thought it was some wittiness to it. I wanted the kind of the lowbrow humor, but in a highbrow kind of witty way.
Yeah.
And so I like bringing nerd stuff to rap. I do think sometimes people be going overboard. Like, there's a whole genre of rap that's just specifically about people rapping about anime. And I don't have a problem with it, but I'm just like, yo, that might be overkill. Like, I get having a bar and a punchline there, but it's a whole entire verse just about how much stuff happened in Naruto. And I was just like, I can't do that. More power to you. I can't listen to that. But the nerd being brought into hip hop was kind of exciting, because now for the kids who love DBZ, that everybody else in the world love DBZ as well. When Lupe said, guess who's on third? Lupe still like Lupin the third. And I'm like, bruh, like I was so geeked out when I heard that line. I'm like, not only did you give like a dope ass like double entendre, you reference some stuff that only maybe those cool people and who in the know would know about. And that it kind of feels like you're kind of in like on a secret club, like how you described when we first met, and then we're getting to know each other. And every time we'll talk about something else, or how dope this is, or how dope this is, and how much we love this person's music, or what this new thing just came out with this, and this issue of this. And it's just like, oh, shit. As someone who I just transferred there, my brother was going to the school, and I knew people from elementary school, but I didn't want to cling to just like, well, familiarity. I know these people from the neighborhood. I know these people at elementary school. I know my brother at the band. I wanted to kind of set my own thing and find my own people to interact with, but I'll still maintaining those relationships, but just chart my own course. And then coming from a boarding school to Hyde Park and getting there and being like, oh, we got the same interest in X, Y, and Z and stuff. It's a comfort there. Like, because, you can find someone who with some of the stuff you with regardless where you go. But the moment it happens, it's something that I think we really don't truly cherish as much as we should. Because it's like just a Lupe line, and we immediately, hey. And it brings that kinship, that it forms that community, and which is also kind of the reason why I was happy when that nerd culture got introduced to rap. Because not only is it you're connected through hip hop, you connected through rap, you connected through this art form, but also the subgenre of references from bars of these and things type of this, you build deeper bonds and relationships with people because how much you geek it out about this.
Yeah. How do you feel about the line, I put an M on your head, you Luigi brother now?
I forgot who it was, but somebody said, I put an M on your head like Majin Buu. And I like that line better than you Luigi brother now.
Nah, I got to give it to J. Cole. I don't remember. I feel like I heard that too, but when the way he said it, the delivery.
It's cold, but I don't know why I just vibe with the line, I put an M on your head like Majin Buu more. Because it's just something about that. Like, put an M on your head, you Luigi brother now. Yeah, that's cold. Don't get me wrong. That's a hot bar. But the Majin Buu one does a little bit more to my spirit.
Fair.
I mean, it's a stronger character. Majin Buu. Yeah. Well, because I'm immediately thinking of Vegeta with and like Vegeta versus Luigi. Come
on.
Give him a mushroom. Maybe he can do some damage. Maybe
he get a mushroom and still. Vegeta gonna do a final flash and turn him to like just a hat.
Substance use in video games. That should be another conversation for the future.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The random stuff that you eat in video games.
Man. Oh God. And like, if you take time to go through all the video games we've ever played, and like starting from Sega to now with the stuff that, like Kirby, just take Kirby by himself. The amount of random stuff you eat in the video games, kind of wild.
Sonic being superficial, you got to collect golden rings and emeralds before you become a really super powerful entity in life. Damn, capitalism.
We say all this, and we have yet to bring up the stuff that GTA has made us do.
I mean, GTA is just life imitating art. That's it. That's really it.
I mean, now it is.
All right. So for the listeners, what can we share with them that they may be able to look forward to as far as your music career?
So I was, like many of other artists, I took a brief hiatus last year and kind of the year before last as well. But I have probably about 3 projects on the way. I have one with my man's Phil. He's my band director. We've been working on this for a while. Certain stuff kind of slowed up because of the pandemic, but we're back at it. Everything's really mostly kind of already recorded, instrumentation and stuff, right? So I just really got to lay my vocals the way I want them. My homie Chris Payne, as you well know, Matt, kind of like my creative director, quote unquote, executive producer. Got a project coming with him. We already have a bunch of stuff in the tuck. I'm really right now just waiting to see what I want to release and when I want to release it. But by the end of the year, you should be expecting at least 2 new projects for me.
Doing any shows?
The show thing kind of on wait, because I got to see if people are getting the vaccines and wearing their masks and going about doing the, the right civil things. But once everything get back open, I'm gonna try to get the band back together and get to it with the shows. I know a lot of people are working, a lot of people are traveling for ours, and so whenever they are ready and some opportunities present itself, we gonna see. I'm excited because I feel like it's been kind of like we've all been deprived from music and art for so long, at least like live and just experiencing it out in public and whatnot, that now it's like people are hungry for it. And I'm like, I've been waiting for people to be hungry for music, hungry for new art, new experiences and whatnot. So yeah, that's what's happening next. That's the next move.
Okay. Because I just saw that they're actually having Lala this year, which took me a little bit by surprise. I didn't think they would get that off, but as far as social media handles, where can the people find you at?
Facebook, just Jamman, Jamman, as well as Spotify and Apple Music and all the other platforms and whatnot. For Instagram, Jamman C, no underscore, just JAMMANC. Yeah, I think that's all I have. I don't have like the Twitter or any of that anymore.
Do you have any YouTube videos or?
Yeah,
I do, but I don't know where any of them are. Yeah, I have something on there from So Far Sounds, and I never remember where it's at. So, but hopefully by the time this comes out, I'll be able to find the link, and maybe you guys might be able to put it in there. Who knows? But I appreciate you asking. I definitely do.
Because I was thinking about the music video you had with your high school like Letterman's jacket. And I was like,
yeah. I think.
Oh, you got a music video? I want to see.
I'm okay. Look, okay. I'm gonna have the picture, the song, and the video link all ready for you guys.
Yay! Okay, cool.
I know where to find you now. I got 2 locations.
Look, I'm easy to find. All
right, one last question. We usually do a end of the episode new Not Music Friday recommendation. What song, either by yourself or from somebody else, would you be willing to recommend for us to add onto our playlist?
They're not really mental health songs. They're actually great feel-good songs, and I love them both. Square Biz by Tina Marie, or When I'm Alone by Frankie Beverly and Maze.
Okay.
Frankie Beverly.
Is there anything else you would like to share with the fans before we let you go?
Be kind to yourself, be kind to people around you, and, be safe this summer in every way possible.
Yeah, because you in Chicago. I get that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I mean that for everybody. Everybody's coming outside at the same time, all across the country, all across the world, and we kind of got to everybody probably got to reacclimate to being civil with each other. So everybody be safe, please.
Yeah.
And thank you guys. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Thank you.
If you make it big, can I make the Bart Simpson single a non-fungible token?
Go crazy.
Hey.
And I already look, you got this on camera. So I already gave you permission for it. You can NFT Bart Simpson. Yes, go crazy.
All right, my guy. I'm gonna let you go.
I appreciate you guys. Bye. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.
That was fun. That was really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, he's such a nice guy. He's a really charismatic guy, like easy to talk to. So I don't know. Thought it was fun.
When he does do another show, I'll let you know. All right. Not new for Music Friday recommendations. Ready?
Yeah, I can go first actually, because what we just talked about in the episode really sparked me to recommend this song. It's a popular song, I think, probably. I don't know. I don't listen to the radios or whatever. But anyway, the song is called Young Morales. Have you heard it?
No.
Young Morales by Jonathan and Friends featuring Julia Wolf. I really like Julia Wolf. But anyway, Morgan Freeman is on the track.
Oh yeah, I think I heard about Morgan Freeman doing some recordings for somebody. I thought it was just 21 Savage, but I guess not.
Yeah, no, he's on it. In the songs about video games, it starts off. There's a clip at the beginning from I think it's Metal Gear Solid. Yeah, Metal Gear Solid.
Mm.
And then they talk about just different video game stuff like Crash Bandicoot, and it's fun. It's a fun song. You gotta check it out. I think you'd like it. I don't know. But they talk about PS5, and I've always been an Xbox person. I like PlayStation,
yeah,
but I don't know. I've always been an Xbox person. I also like PC though. All right, I don't have any preferences. Xbox is just what I buy.
Yeah.
So.
When it's cheaper, I might buy one. Who knows? I'm just content with the 4 that I got last year because I didn't know that a 5 would be coming out last year. I'm not angry or bitter about it at all. For mine this week, I'm actually going to go with a recommendation that I got from my work. It's the song Rap Star by Polo G. The reason why I'm even recommending it is because I'm not really a big person that's into the new school, like hip hop rap artists. Nothing against them. It's just Drake, Kendrick, Cole, Childish Gambino, Big Sean. That's the last crop of rappers that I personally started to like, and we were around the same age. We're still around the same age. So it was interesting listening to their music, going like, yeah, I got hints from the old school, from the 90s that I used to listen to, but also a different type of presentation because you guys aren't hard as shit. You guys are just regular dudes like me. And now with this new crop, I don't get that sense as much. But I heard this song yesterday, and it was very interesting because it still has like the same like melody as current rap songs when it comes to being auto-tune influenced, a melodious like rappy like hook and verses that are like sung instead of like spit. But the kid actually mentioned some stuff about mental health, and I was like, oh shit, he's going through it. Talking about anxiety, how he just is like stuck and frozen, just wants it to stop. And it all sounds very positive. And I was just like, man, this is what the kids do these days. They put a really brave face on, but inside they are internally struggling. And I don't know, I just like this song. So that's why I'm going to recommend it.
Sounds good. I'll have to check it out. I don't think I've heard of that song.
Yeah, apparently it is, or was, as of last week, on Billboard's top Hot 100, 200 list. So.
Oh man, see, yeah, you're all up with the times, and I'm not.
No, not really. I didn't even know. I forgot all about Billboard like that because after a certain point, it didn't really mean that much to me because good music does not always go on Billboard. Definitely doesn't always go on Billboard.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Ooh.
Listeners, check us out. Instagram, Facebook, Instagram handle YT_playlist. We also have a YouTube page. We've mentioned it before, but really check it out. Anyway, we have added a lot more videos on there. So today we added the videos for episode 4, our Siegfried's Pieces episode. We have the video recording for that. We also have a playlist for that episode and a playlist for episode 8. So the playlists that we're uploading, they'll have our episodes cut into 3 parts, and then in between it'll have our song recommendations, and then at the end we'll have the songs that we recommend for our non-New Music Friday. So it's cool. It's a good way to listen to the episode and check it out.
Shout out to our producer for holding it down with the editing.
Yes.
Now has an official title.
Yeah, my husband's been doing an awesome job. He's been working really, really hard, which, Matt, I think is totally why the magic cards thing came into play. So I'm not bugging, because I can't help it. Like, he's sitting next to me and he's working on our episodes, and I just keep talking. Like, I just can't help it. So now it's like, here's, the magic cards. They're like my bag of Cheerios that he's giving me. I give babies bags of Cheerios in church to keep them busy. So.
That's one of the things I miss about being in a relationship, which is weird because you don't hate it when it happens, but you're just kind of like, yeah, I understand. This is affection, playing my video game. So I have to accept both. I miss that. I miss like doing my own thing and then like my partner coming up and just wanting to just be around me. And it's just like, what do you want? Nothing. I just want to be with you. And it's like, I'm cool with that. I like that. But you're also on my good gaming arm.
Good game. Yeah, I keep grabbing his arm when he's trying to like type the things in and like move things around for our videos. And he's like, I need that arm. And I'm like, no, I need the arm. But anyway, he's been doing a great job. And our YouTube channel is looking great. So we'll be adding this episode on there, of course. And we will also be adding our first interview with Nicholas May. We kind of taking our time with that one, but we want to get it out there for you guys, and we want it to look good, so that'll be added as well.
Cute. Shout out to our sponsor, TBD Coffee.
Yes. Trying to get my coffee cup in the picture. Check out TBD Coffee on Instagram and Facebook as well. Check out our blend, Therapy in a Bag.
Therapy in a Bag.
Yeah. It's mocha. I mean, who doesn't like mocha? Come on. It's awesome. But yeah, TBD Coffee. Everyone check it out.
Of course, if you go and visit the website and you use our promo code YTP15, you will get 50% off of all purchases site-wide. So why not get yourself some dope merch or get yourself some dope coffee?
Yeah, and it is, you're right, Matt, YTP15. YTP15.
Hey.
Use our code. And yeah, just keep up with us. Instagram, I've been posting stuff. Facebook, we got more to come. So
especially next month.
We are hoping next month is going to be a pretty exciting month for us. We have some cool things planned that we do not want to talk about yet.
I'm going to just play it cool. I don't usually play it cool, but I'm going to play it cool now.
We got to play it cool. We will let you all know what we got planned for next month. When next month gets here. Yay! Yeah. That's exciting. Yeah.
All right. Thank you guys for listening for today's episode. Again, you can find us on all of your favorite streaming podcast platforms. Have a continued good rest of your week. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thank you.